For this first question, our task is to decide if these two triangles are congruent or if we don't have enough information. And we can see on this first triangle over here on the left that we have a side, we have an angle, and we have a side. So that makes me think that maybe our side angle side congruence theorem is going to work. But if we take a look at the second triangle, we see over here we have a side, we have an angle, but the second side we would need would be this side, and we don't know anything about that side. So our congruence marking right here, this one is not in the correct place to be able to conclude using side angle side that our two triangles are congruent. So we can't use that side angle side. Now it's possible that we could get some extra information, but with these two triangles they're not connected anyway. There's no vertical angles or connected sides or anything like that. So this one we do not have enough information. On our second one here, we can see that we have a pair of angles right there, and we have a second pair of angles right here that are congruent. And both of these two triangles, the one on the top right here and the one on the bottom right here, share this middle side. So I can put a congruence marking right here. If we were to separate these two triangles, they would look kind of like this, where we'd have an angle, a side, and an angle for the triangle on the top, and then the triangle on the bottom would have an angle, a side, and an angle that are congruent. So this one we have enough information to use the angle side angle congruence theorem to say yes, they are congruent by angle side angle. On our third example here, we can see that we have a pair of sides here, a pair of sides there, and this one, like before, our third side is connected to each other. So we have two triangles that have three pairs of sides that are congruent. That gives us the side, side, side congruence theorem. So we can say yes, these two triangles, the one here on the left and the triangle here on the right, are congruent by side, side, side. On example number 4, we're just given all three sides on this triangle, given all three sides on this triangle. There's really no work to do at all on this one except to remember that we have the side, side, side congruence theorem, so this one again is yes by side, side, side. For this one, we've got two sides here and here that are congruent to each other, and we have a pair of vertical angles right here. So we have this angle in the middle right here is congruent to that angle right there, that those are vertical angles. If these are in the right order, then we can use our angle side angle congruence, or our side angle side congruence theorem. But again, we can see that we've got side, and the angle that we would need to be able to conclude these are congruent would be the one in between these two sides, which would be right there. Same with this one, we've got a side, and the angle we would need is this one right there. So we do not have the correct information. This one is not enough information to be able to tell whether or not they are congruent. On this second set of problems, we're asked to see if we have enough information for this theorem specifically. And so we take a look at this one. This is very similar to the one that we have before, where we've got two sides and we have an angle. We're asked if we can find angle side angle, and this one just doesn't have that information at all. We can't use side angle side either because they're not in the right order. But the question doesn't even ask about that one. Angle side angle, there is not enough information. Now, the second part of this is we need to decide what other information we would need if we were to use this one. And so angle side angle requires us to have two angles with a side in between. We have an angle here and a side here. We would need a second angle, which would be on the other end of that side, which would be this one. And then on the right hand side we have an angle and we have a side, and we would need our second angle, which would be this one right here at K. So the information that we need to be able to conclude this, we need to know that angle Y, that's the one right here, is congruent to angle K. We don't know that, but we are stating that we would need to know that. That's the second part of this question. On this triangle, we're looking at angle, side, angle here. And we have an angle, and we have a side. And on this side, we have an angle and a side. If we're going to do angle, side, angle, we would need to know that this angle right here is congruent to that angle right there. And we actually do have enough information on this one. As we can see, we've got a 90-degree angle there, and this is a straight line. So this is a supplementary angle on this side, which means it's also 90 degrees. Since those are both 90 degrees, we know that those two angles are congruent. So we'll add that marking right here, and we have, yes, we do have enough information, because angle JKL equals 90 degrees. We should put the measure of angle JKL right there, equals 90 degrees. On this next one, we're asked to use side, 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 and we can see we have a pair of sides here, and we have a second pair of sides here. We've got a lot of other markings on here, but those are actually just distractors in this case, because this third side is shared between those two triangles. So like we saw on some previous examples, we can say that this third side is congruent on both triangles. So yes, we have enough information on this one, because WY, that segment, is shared by the two triangles. On our next one, we've got side, angle, side, and here we have a side and we have a side, and to use side, angle, side, we would need the side that's in between those. We can see that this side right here is the in-between. If we have that same information in the second triangle, then we're good to go. So we have side, and we have an angle right there, and we have a side. So this one we didn't need any extra information. It was all just given to us. So this one, yes, we have enough information. It's all written on the diagram. And on this last one, we're trying to do side, angle, side, and we have a pair of sides and an angle, but again, this one, angle, is not between the two sides, and so we cannot use the side, angle, side theorem there. Right here, same thing, we have side, side, and this angle that it shows us is not the one in between. We would need to know that angle right there. And so this one we do not have enough information currently. So again, we're back to our second part. We have to state what information we would need to know. And the angle that is in between these two sides would be Q for this triangle, and it would be T for that triangle. So we need to know that angle Q is congruent to angle T, and that would be enough information to give us side, angle, side as we're looking for. That's the final question on this practice test. Thank you for watching, and good luck.